That's my natural hair color. Guys, thank you so much for having me. I've had the best time. Should we do one more cheer before I go?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1. But by far, my favorite part about Tucson is family. El Charro is the oldest family-owned Mexican restaurant in America and the perfect place to catch up with mine, my mom Nancy and sister Annie. I come here every time I come home to Tucson. I have to come to El Charro. How long has El Charro been here?
103 years.
Carlota Flores has run El Charro for over 50 years, taking over from her great aunt Monica, the woman who's said to have invented the chimichanga. She treated us to a tradition from back in Prohibition when women playing cards would hide their tequila in teacups. Cheers.
Cheers.
I love being home. Don't drink the whole thing. Well, Mom, you guys came here in the 70s and you'd been moving all around. What made you want to stay in Tucson and plant roots?
And so wonderful. Just the air, the quality of life is laid back and gentle. Yeah, I like to watch the javelina eat my plants.
But the best thing about Tucson is coming home and
Yes.
seeing you guys. Should we raise a glass? Prickly pear margarita? Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Love you.
Love you.
From the love of family to the familiar beauty of the scenery, I will always be a daughter of the desert.
Daughter?
Oh, daughter of the desert. That was like a movie.
Well, guys, I brought you a little something from Carlota Flores
so
and El
good.
Charro. This is the famous teacup. And the tequila, they would hide in it for Prohibition. And as my mother said, it's quite smooth, and she put in an order for the tequila. So,
Oh, wow.
shall we just do a little
Cheers.
tiny
That is real
sip?
tequila.
It is.
For Nancy.
It's brown.
That was so
Insolito.
fun to see your connection to Tucson. That's
Oh,
just
and
cool.
you spent some
Brings
time
you
there
your
too.
mind.
I did. My grandparents lived in Tucson, and from LA, we would drive there in the early 80s. And I loved it. I saw my first electrical storm there.
Yes.
I'll never forget it. We went to Old Tucson, the theme park.
Yes.
It was so much fun.
Did you hear about Savannah Guthrie? Who? The lady on TV. They took her mother. They took her mother? Why did they take her mother? Nobody knows. They just took a lady's mother for no reason. I think it was the sister. The sister took her own mother. And her husband, they're a little sus. They probably needed the money. Is there any evidence? No. How long has this lady been missing? Almost 2 weeks now. She has been missing for 2 whole weeks and they have no evidence? Well, they have footage from her porch the night that she was taken. Oh, well, that's good. So then they must have a suspect. No. They have it on camera, but they have no idea who it is. Pretty much, and it keeps sending ransom notes to Harvey Levin. Harvey Levin from TMZ? I'm a lawyer, that guy. Yeah, and Savannah's been corresponding with them on Instagram. They are communicating via TMZ and Instagram. But don't worry, the FBI's on it. Well, it's about time. Yeah, they got in on day 4, and since then they've gotten some pizza and an Amazon package, but so far, no leads on the mom yet. The FBI has no leads. There's a whole missing lady with no leads. How do you just lose a lady? I know, crazy, right? So you mean to tell me the lady on TV lost her mother, and it might be the sister, and they've been corresponding through TMZ and Instagram, all because why? She needed some money? Bitcoin, actually. The hell do you do with Bitcoin? Nobody knows. This is a case of Nancy Benet Ramsey. Did you hear about Savannah Guthrie?
What it do, guys? It's your boy YouTube Juice. It's quite late right now. It's actually 3 a.m. in the morning for me right now. I figured I'd plug in tonight just to kind of go over everything that's pretty much happened today. It's day 16 since Nancy Guthrie's gone missing. Still nothing. Another dry day, another day of a waiting game, really. We know we have discovered that the FBI has a lot of information they've been withholding from us. Really why I got on tonight is because I had a really interesting video to show you guys. It just kind of goes over everything that's pretty much went on. And I just kind of like the way the guy put it. I don't know what tomorrow will bring exactly, but I really do have a really good feeling that we're going to get some information that we've been waiting for tomorrow. I don't know if that's going to be bringing Nancy home or whether that's discovering, that Nancy's no longer with us. But I really got a real good feeling that tomorrow we're going to get identities tomorrow. I just got that feeling. I don't know why, and my feeling could be wrong, but we'll see. You heard it here. So maybe y'all heard it somewhere else today. I think I heard somebody say that too earlier, maybe. But you heard it here first if you haven't heard it anywhere else today. I had an interesting video I wanted to show you guys, and it goes by the name of a guy named Monks. He seems like he is just starting from what I can see here. Otherwise, it's just another channel that this guy has. So shout out Monks for his story, because it was definitely a great one, and it's definitely what I would like to share. Just because I think he had a good point of view, and I think he had some pretty good examples that he actually shared with us. So I definitely want to share this video. I think I had one more I wanted to share as well, but I don't have too much time because I do work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is 3 o'clock, which means I'm probably only going to get 4 hours of sleep. And that's okay, because I'm a night owl, and I'm someone who could go off for 2 hours of sleep. It's nothing, trust me. It's nothing. Let's go ahead and waste no time at all. I want to dive into this video, watch this video. We know that Savannah released a video today. I did want to watch that as well. Maybe we'll watch that video first, actually. Because Savannah did release a video today. And I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit, because I feel like the video is kind of saying things, and I feel like she said I feel like Savannah kind of has this kind of code-like way. I don't even want to say code, but that's the best way I could put it in words, that she talks like, I really would like to get some insights from Savannah based on the decisions that they decided to make based on them not sending the money. Although I feel like she's never going to express that to the world, and we're just never going to know why she didn't pay the money or what stopped her from paying the money. I don't know if it's her sources that's stopping her, or she just came to the conclusion that she just didn't want to pay amongst her own self. But anyway. Let's get into the video that I wanted to share with y'all today. I really kind of low-key want to play that video that Savannah had put out today. So let's play that video, because I had another video with that actual video. But let's just play that video real quick, just to let everybody see what Savannah had to say today. And I think I might be able to zoom in. Nah, I can't zoom in on this, so it's going to be kind of a smaller screen, but it's big enough. It's big enough. You know how the shorts go.
I wanted to come on and It's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone.
It's almost like Savannah's trying to relate to the kidnapper or murderer, if that's what you want to call him, but we don't know that, so we can't call him a murderer, so let's just say kidnapper, because that's the only thing we have as of right now. But I think she's almost trying to relate in a sense of, like, she understands why they are where they are and why they did what they did. And maybe that was the message that she was trying to send in the beginning when Savannah had said, we had the money, they have the money, and we understand. I don't know if you remember her saying that in that first initial video that she put out, but maybe that's what she was talking about. I have no idea.
Or knows where she is.
But it's almost like she wants them to give in as well and just bring her back, and we, as we all would.
But it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And we believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
Man, Savannah Guthrie, there it is. My heart goes out to her, man. She looks like she's been crying all day long, all week long. God knows what she's going through right now. God knows what she's going through. I can't imagine. None of us can really put ourselves in her shoes. We could try, but it's a lot. Just imagine. And then you got the world pretty much thinking that it's Tommaso. You know, I wonder how she's handling that. You know, I wonder if they're just kind of overlooking it for now and just kind of going on as the family would on a normal day. You know, because it's just kind of hard to overlook everything going on in the media world, you know, because there's so much trolling going on. There's so many people out here saying a lot of things that a lot of people will feed off of, and then it's like, it's almost like it's true because so many people are saying it, but it's really not true. I don't know, man. I just wonder how they're dealing with that at home. I hope that they're just kind of going about their day like a normal day. Not in a sense of everything's fine, just in a sense of them treating each other as they normally would in a situation like this, when you got people pointing fingers at Tommaso. Pretty much the entire world, dang near, is pointing fingers at Tommaso and Annie. So I think that's a really tough situation in itself, on top of grieving and just sitting here just wondering when you're going to get that phone call you've been waiting for. Like, it just got to be so scary. Just sitting there wondering, like, wondering if your mom's going to come home. Wondering if anybody's going to call. Wondering if anybody's going to, well, somebody's going to call at some point, but it's probably not the call that she's probably going to be expecting. I'm going to be honest. But, I don't know, man. I just really feel bad for them. This has just been a really twisty, crazy story. I want to play this one more time before we show this video I wanted to show y'all today, though.
I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks.
I'm glad she finally spoke out again,
was
too.
Taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that
welcome,
it's
Justice.
never too late.
Welcome, is it Berto?
And you're not
Or
lost
Bird of Paradise. Welcome.
or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And we believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
Yeah, I think she just wants the person to just give up already and just bring her mom home, or at least at the very minimum, just tell her, like, just tell her where her mom's at. Tell her from what state she's in, whether or not she's alive or she's in critical condition. Come get her now. Just drop her off somewhere. Just drop her off. Like, just drop her off somewhere. If she's still alive, just drop her off. Just drop off Nancy. Please. This has been so frustrating, man. It really has. Like, I've never been, I just never been so frustrated. I've never watched something like this that ended up making me feel so frustrated. I don't even remember anything that I've followed for this long, and I've been in tune as much as I have been lately with this whole Nancy Guthrie thing. It's just crazy. It's just super crazy. Everything in itself. Bird of Paradise says, I wonder MSN is only showing photos of Nancy and Savannah together and a lot of her other kids. Yeah, I wondered that same thing too. And if you notice in that video I first showed, it's just her and her mom together. And I feel like majority of the photos that they do show, it's just her and her mom most of the time. I don't get it either. But I think there's definitely been some rocky situations with Annie and Tommaso, and Nancy Guthrie. I don't know why I get that feeling. And the most questionable part too, Savannah doesn't live in Tucson. And if you look it up, it actually says where she lives. I can't remember. I think it was in Boston, something like that. I'm not too sure. I'd have to look it up again. But we all know that Annie and Tommaso are more actively involved with Nancy because they're here. They live here in the same city and about 6-7 minutes down the road from Nancy anyways. But the most questionable thing is that adult protection note that we saw on the door. We don't know why they would have came I think it was a couple days before this all happened when that protection note or notice, whatever it was, I don't even know what it was or what it was about. But whenever that came about, whatever it was, we don't know. And I don't know. I just hope that Nancy wasn't getting abused. I'm hoping that. But we don't know what went on between Annie, Tommaso, and Nancy. We don't even know what their relationship was really like. And that one picture where they had a family picture together and they were comparing how Tommaso was leaning versus how the suspect that we saw on Nancy's Ring camera was leaning. They look like they're a real big, happy, close family to me. They don't look like they have a lot of issues. But, I think Tommaso, for one, I don't think Annie works right now. And if she does, she doesn't make a whole lot of money. So that does tell us that there could be some financial issues. And I don't know what sources that Annie has that she could lean upon if, they did perhaps need some money. I don't know if she would reach out to her mom or she would reach out to Savannah. I would like to see all that comes into play. Although Tommaso is a biology teacher. We all know that teachers don't get paid that much. They are underpaid, but that doesn't mean that Tommaso doesn't make a good amount of money, because teachers do make money. Let's not get it twisted. Just because they're underpaid doesn't mean they don't bring in money. I just don't know if Tommaso's bringing in a whole lot of money, and I don't think that it shows his net worth from what I saw. I didn't really look though. Anyway, let's just dive into this video real quick. This video I think it's a great video. It talks about the suspect when he didn't have a backpack at one point. And I think it was a picture that the FBI had captured, or they didn't capture it, a picture that they were able to dig out as far as getting that surveillance on that Ring camera. I personally feel like this guy is a completely different guy, and he talks about a lot of this in the video, so I'll kind of stop it here and there. It's about a 14-minute video. It's not too crazy, and I think everybody would enjoy it. Man, I wish we had some exciting news today, guys. I really do. Today it's been dry. It's been dry. Like, there's really nothing to really talk about today as far as like news. It's been dry. We still got a lot of media out in front of Nancy's house, though. I do know that. As far as Annie's house, I didn't see any media that I saw on somebody's stream I saw earlier. He does overnight, and he's been at Nancy's house all night, every night the last few weeks, I want to say. But somebody's saying it was a caseworker card. From what I heard, it was a protection services, adult protection services on the door. Let's see if they got a picture of that before I hit this video real quick. Because remember, the reporters were able to, they were able to just walk all in the yard at one point because of the sheriffs doing a very horrible job. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of that letter, or not that letter, it was actually a card left on Nancy's door. And it clearly says adult protective services, and looks like it was some type of investigator for adult protective services. Let me see if I can pull up the photo here on the screen. So there's the card right there that was on Nancy's door. That is it right there. And then I think there's the card from like far away off in the distance here. I think it's a little too small to see on the screen. Let me see if I can make it 10 times bigger. So it's kind of blurry because it's a far away picture, but that's the card. That's that card that was on her door. So why they were there, I don't know. We don't know. But anyway, let's dive into this video, guys. I think you're going to like this video. I wanted y'all to hear this. This is a great video. He had some good outlooks, interesting things to say. I thought he had some interesting opinions based on certain things that he pointed out with the guy that approached Nancy's door that got caught on the Ring camera. So Bird of Paradise says an APS caseworker's card. Her is Deborah on the card. Her name is Deborah on the card, they give it to say. Kevin, what up, man? Welcome to the stream. He says, after Savannah's video last night, she has an idea who it is now. That's why she said, we know you're not a bad person. Maybe a former worker for property? Interesting. She said that we know you're not a bad person. I mean, I think she was getting at that when she was pretty much saying that. Well, did she say that? I don't think she said that. Now you're making me want to go back. Now you're making me want to go back to the video again. I don't think she said that we know you're not a bad person. Let's listen to it again, because he said, now he's got me a little interested. Let me listen to that one, because maybe I'm missing something.
I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And we believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
I mean, maybe on that last part, she kind of pretty much said that when she said this here.
And it's never too late. Goodness of every human being. And we
Go
believe.
back a little more.
We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being.
So maybe when she said we believe in the essential goodness of every human being, I think she might have been referring to knowing he's not a bad person, but I don't recall hearing her say that at all at any point in the video, that they know exactly word for word, at least.
To whoever.
That's why I say Savannah kind of talks in code. It's like not straightforward, you know? And I think maybe that's her way of trying to sum it up and maybe make it short. You know, I don't know. I really can't call it, but Savannah's soul has drained out of body. Very, very sad. Yeah, it is. She just looks like almost like a completely different person. She really does. Repurpose says, I guess that Deborah social worker is unaware Nancy is missing. Social service for you. Man. Nah, I'm sure they've been in contact. We don't know a lot of what's going on, man. They really haven't said much at all. They're withholding a lot, but I feel like tomorrow they might hit it with us. What I feel like they're doing is gathering everything together. Instead of hitting us piece by piece, I feel like they're just going to hit us with everything at once, just out of nowhere. But that's just me. I don't know, man. Maybe not. Maybe not. I could be wrong, but I don't know. Anyways, guys, I wanted to dive in this video real quick here. Let's watch this video, man. Like I said, this guy's name's Monk. I think it's Intrigue or something like that. Shout out to him for this video, because I thought it was a really good video. It looks like he's just a fairly new YouTuber as well, but I thought he had a really good video here. So let's watch this, man.
So let's take a look at this picture right here, and it's eerie in itself. And this was provided by the FBI as this solitary image, and let's compare it to this screenshot of the perp walking up to the house. And let's play a game together, okay? Spot the difference, and I promise you, I'm gonna tie this into our working theory, and it's pretty chilling, okay? So the first thing we all notice by now is that he isn't wearing his backpack. Then we realize that he hasn't buckled up that holster yet, you know, that crotch holster, leading us to believe that this image was taken by the camera before this image here. This solitary image with no footage attached could be him scoping out the house beforehand, okay?
What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Y'all think that's a different guy, or you think that's the same guy? I really feel like this guy might just be a different guy. If you notice, so right, if you look at the shoes, first of all, look at the shoes. And I think he points that out in this video with the shoes. But I almost feel like the shoes are different. I'm almost seeing like a black on the shoe. That's what's kind of throwing me off with that black on the shoe right there. But also his posture is much different than the posture of the other guy, which maybe it's not the other guy. They're calling this guy the leader. Well, and the guy in the video is calling this guy the leader because he thinks there's more than one. Let's dive in.
We could also assume that this is the same guy. Or is it? Looking at this image again versus the entire footage, I almost feel like I missed a difference here, because look at the shoes. These shoes look to have a black pattern on them, okay? Definitely some type of pattern. Now, it could be just infrared reflection or grainy artifacts for the very nature of how this image came to be. But if it's just infrared reflection, then where are the reflections in the footage where he's all geared up? I took many screenshots, and those reflections...
Notice when he's walking, there's no black on these shoes, except for the black under the shoe. So in the picture, if you go back to that comparison that he was showing, there's black at the top of the shoe, midway to the top. So I almost feel like that might just be a completely different person, but that's just me.
For red reflection, then where are the reflections in the footage where he's all geared up? I took many screenshots, and those reflections never showed up again. I have this screenshot right here where he's roughly at the same spot. We get a great look at those shoes. Where are those black patterns on the shoes? This isn't even the thing that I really want to explore, because I know some of you guys don't agree, so it really is up for debate. But we can explore it a little bit, okay? So if this is someone else completely, maybe the leader, right? Scoping out the property earlier in the night. If that was him being caught by the detection of the camera at 1:47 a.m., could this be the other one? But why the same clothes, right? And the answer, actually, after giving some thought, is pretty simple. Now, if it's a plan that someone took some time to cook up, I mean, you have to take into consideration, what if you do get caught on camera, right? You don't want, the clothes that you're wearing in your everyday life to be exposed. No. You go to Walmart and buy all the cheapest stuff. A $30 sweater, $20 pants. We know that's a $10 backpack. The nitro gloves, those don't cost much. Even the gun holster, in which somebody found where that gun holster came from, that gun holster was bought from Walmart. Matching ski mask, I guess. So however many culprits are in this little caper here, those guys are going to have matching clothes, because in a kidnapping like this, you're definitely discarding everything you're wearing after this. Now, would these guys make the blunder of purchasing all of this gear from Walmart at once, right? And we can only hope so. If not only just to make the FBI's job a little easier, because I'm sure they are digging into it. But
repurposing that,
it's possible.
I don't know, man.
Okay, that they might want to dig into the Walmarts of California as well.
You could be right,
that's
though.
A theory we're going to save for another video, or else this would be just too long. And it all ties in, I promise you. If you like this angle that this character is the other culprit feel free to expand on it. I'd love to read it, right? It takes a community in which this video right now is because of comments that I read in prior videos. Let's go ahead and talk about the main observation. So as another seemingly unfruitful, well, I shouldn't say unfruitful. To be honest, I shouldn't. This is just a process.
Well, we do know if that is the same guy, then that tells us right away. Let's just clear this. If that is the same guy, then that means that guy went outside to do something, and maybe he went back to the car, geared up, and then did his thing, or he already did his thing, he put all his stuff away, and then he went in the house to do whatever he needed to do. One thing that I do know is they did say that the house wasn't in normal looking conditions. You know, that's not how they said it word for word. I can't remember word for word, but the house definitely looked tampered with is how they kind of put it. So, but they're not saying. So we don't know this. So they're not saying exactly what condition the house was in. But I would think it's very difficult, even with that bite light that he has, to be able to see every single camera that's in there if he doesn't know the house. But if he knows the house, he knows exactly where he's going. Notice when he's walking and he's walking up, he's looking down, and I know he's tracking his steps to make sure he doesn't stumble over nothing, because at Nancy's house there's no street lights, no nothing, and Nancy didn't have her porch light on. So it's pitch black. Literally, guys, it's pitch black.
Elimination that's happening right now. So as another bus goes down without anybody being apprehended, that's the better way to say it, right? What I gather was that
give me the video. Send me the video.
Was pulled over and towed away.
Can't pronounce your name. I don't want to
The driver was detained and he was allowed to go eventually. Then there was the house that
send me the video.
Another couple of people were detained at. I do believe is a man and a woman. It might be up to 3 at certain reportings. So a friend of mine literally sent me a picture of the detainment, which turned out to be AI, which I let him have it for even falling for a picture like that. And then I fell asleep because it was getting late, and I woke up, you know, in the morning with no more information than what I fell asleep to. Now, yesterday was Valentine's Day, and as amazing as it would have been, you know, to solve Nancy's case on a day that is meant for love.
So that was that picture I was talking about earlier. Remember, they look like a really, really big, happy family. You notice Tommaso is next to Annie's mother, which is Nancy, which is the lady missing, obviously. Notice he's in the picture right next to her. But let's not get this confused, guys. A picture's a picture. It doesn't really matter who you're standing next to in a picture. That doesn't mean that you guys are close just because you're standing next to somebody in a picture. So let's not overthink this picture, because a lot of people take this picture and they overthink it, and the first thing they think is Nancy and Tommaso had some type of relationship. For all we know, they could have not had a good relationship at all. But because that's his wife's mother, he does have to be there.
That would have been amazing for her family. It went by uneventfully. I'm sure people spent time with the ones they love and had dinner, you know, except Brian Enton. Unless you count true crime as his love, then yeah, he did the same. So this morning, I sat at my computer and I went back to basics, okay? I'm playing detective on this case for sure. I went back to the Nest camera footage, and I remember a comment I got about looking at the culprit's right hand. I did not know what this person meant at the time, but they said, look at how it never really moves in any meaningful way, right? In a previous video, we mentioned how appalled we were that this guy failed to, at something as simple as blocking a door camera, right? Which has these tiny little lenses. He did it so badly that we could still see everything that he was doing. And then it occurred to me, because of that comment, ringing in my head pretty much, what if this guy cannot move that hand? Like, if he can't open or close.
Listen to this, guys, because I thought he had a very, very good point right here with the hand. Although I feel like at some points in time in this video, he's actually using that hand. But he's describing his hand as being hurt because of the way he's using it. It's almost like he's only using his left hand the entire time. So listen to his opinion on the hand.
Or clench his hand without considerable pain, let's say, right? Maybe it's injured or even broken. That would actually make some sense here. In the beginning, we just thought he's a dummy. Also pay attention to how he gets this foliage, right? How he bends over. He uses his left hand. Now, even look at his posture in bending over. Grabs the foliage and he puts it actually into his right hand, but we can't really see it. It kind of looks like he's gripping it until he turns around right here, and you could actually see the way he's holding that foliage in his right hand. He's gripping it with his thumb. His fingers don't seem to be doing anything. I think he broke that hand or severely sprained it. Now, if we're going in this direction, here's the eerie question, right? How did he hurt his hand? And when did he hurt his hand? I think he injured himself in the process of destroying all the surrounding Nest cameras and those motion detecting floodlights, okay? Now remember, it's dark and cameras, they are not placed in easy to reach places, right? We can agree on that. So in this theory, the front man is running around the perimeter of the house with a ladder. Okay, not those heavy ones.
See, this is the part that gets me here. I don't really see, especially if these guys know the house, there would be no purpose for them to bring a ladder unless they're really looking for cameras and they need a ladder to get up to get to the ladder. Yeah, you're going to need a ladder because that house is very much so high enough for you to need a ladder for you to be able to remove cameras. However, being that I think that they knew the place well, I don't think their intent was to remove every single camera there, because remember, the FBI or the sheriffs, I think, came and removed that camera that she has in the back. She has a camera facing the back. So that camera, from what I saw, was still there. So I think if they knew that camera was there and they didn't move that camera, I don't think that camera was, I think they knew where that camera was obviously facing and it was out of sight, unless they have video and they're holding on that video and there was some activity back there in the back and we just don't know it yet. Maybe there is that possibility. However, I don't think that, considering there was a camera on the top in the back, that they were using a ladder. Because had they been using a ladder, that camera in the back would have been removed. But it was pretty much on the roof, but it wasn't on the roof. It was definitely, I think it was definitely visible enough from the ground to be able to see it and remove it. But again, it's pitch black, so you can't see all of the cameras. But I could be wrong.
Plenty of very lightweight ladders these days, okay? And he's doing this between 1:47 a.m. and 2:12 a.m. So technically he does this within 25 minutes, which now would make the, that bite light thing in his mouth that we're pretty sure he has, that makes that bite light even more feasible if that's what he was doing, because he needs both hands for the ladder. I made this image of potential camera locations on Nancy's house. So basically not including the door camera, okay? He had maybe...
As far as I know, guys, don't quote me on this, but I don't think, and I'll use the mouse here, as hopefully you can see my mouse. I don't think she had any cameras here. I don't think there were any cameras here. On any of the red marks outside of the house, in the front of the house, I don't think there were any cameras. It almost looks like there was a camera on the back house, which looks like the guest house. That house in the back on the right, which is the guest house, small little house, small looking house, I guess, I believe is the guest house. It almost looks like there's a camera there, though. But I don't recall there being any cameras around the home. From what I heard, they were saying that there were cameras inside of the home. I'm not certain that that's a camera back there. What do y'all think? It almost looks like that is a camera right there on that guest house in the back there, though. I can't call it, though. I'm trying to zoom in enough for everyone to see it. I don't think she had cameras there. And if so, I want to see, I don't think you can see that from the street, because I've been to Nancy's house several times. It's about 10 minutes down the road from me. Probably less than that. And I don't think you can see the guest house from the street from what I remember. So, but that almost looks like a camera there. And if that's the case and that camera was removed, then yeah, for certain they definitely had a ladder. But I think his point, when he makes this point here about the guy going in the back of the house to let him in the front, if there's two guys, I think that theory might be somewhat correct, because he's kind of like dueling around almost like a child. And you can tell he's obviously comfortable, but he's like kind of just scavenging around. Oh, what could I do? Well, I'll just cover the camera real quick. Not that I care about it that much right now. Also, guys, I want to point something out here, and I could be wrong, but check this out. You're going to trip on this one here. This is a point that he does not point out here. I think, let me go back. Let's zoom out of the house real quick. Y'all, because you guys got to see this right here. Let me zoom out here. So you see the house. All right. Let's go back, because I'm seeing something here. Well, I saw this earlier, and I wanted to show you guys this. All right. So that house, the left side of the house right there, the very far window to the left. Look at that very far window to the left. That window on the left looks like it's a sliding glass door, obviously, right? What looks wrong to you? Before I share my opinion, I want to know what looks wrong to you with that sliding glass door. And obviously it's a sliding glass door because you clearly see a chair right outside of it and a mat on the floor. What does it look like what does it look like it is right now? We're unsure how the killer or kidnapper, because we don't know what he is besides the kidnapper right now. So let me not say killer. We don't know how he got into the home. But, and remember, the sheriff pretty much said forced entry, but he didn't want to say. But by him pretty much saying it, he pretty much told us that it was a forced entry. That thing looks open, correct, Big Blue? That sliding glass door looks open. And why would it be open? And at what point in time was this picture taken that we're looking at? There's been many, many drones flying around in this house, in this area. I don't know if this was the point in time that this happened, that this photo has been taken. Maybe somebody's home and they're just chilling and this picture was taken through satellite. I don't know. It looks open to me, though. Just thought I'd point that out. Anyway. But let's continue this video, man. I think this guy has some pretty little decent points to point out here. I just gotta zoom my screen back out.
4 cameras to get to dismantle, right? Just on the outer perimeters, okay? Breaking them and stuffing them in that backpack that he's now wearing.
I don't know where he's getting his information at, and I'm sorry to stop the video again, but I don't know where he got that information as far as there being 4 cameras out on the perimeter. From what I heard, there were cameras inside of the home, and there was no subscription paid for those cameras that were inside of the home. But being that all of the cameras run under the same name, which is Nest, I would only believe the Ring camera is attached to the cameras in the home if they're all Nest cameras. I don't know even if they're all under the same name, but I thought they were all Nest cameras from what I'm hearing. But we don't know any of that yet.
That's why it looks so stuffed by the time he comes around this corner here. So we know for sure there was this one camera on the roof here, as we've seen the FBI confiscate.
See, and here's the thing. The camera that he just pointed out is a completely different camera. That FBI is on the back of her house. Now, let's go back. Because the camera that he's pointing out right there is not.
There was this.
So that camera is completely different from the one on the FBI. That's the camera on. It's a completely different camera than the one we see the FBI on. That camera's on the guest house.
One camera.
If that's a camera.
On the roof here, as we've seen the FBI confiscate that one. But that one is in the backyard, which he never goes to because that's for the leader. The leader is the one jumping the walls and going into the backyard. Now, it gives me great joy, okay, to actually envision this perp injuring himself greatly, okay? I'm imagining him falling off that ladder at one point. Falling off any type of heights in pitch blackness has to be sheer horror. And this guy deserves every single pain that's coming to him. This bite light in his mouth is not going to save you as you are falling because you don't know where you are. You're discombobulated. You don't even know.
Yeah, you know what? Repurpose, I got to agree with you on that because I have a very, very shitty camera. And excuse my French, but I really do. I have a very, very poop camera inside of my house. It does great, though. It actually looks very good. Good enough to capture face features, that's for sure. And it also moves and rotates. Not that that matters, but it's motion censored, but it moves with you in a motion censored way. It's not just motion censored as in detecting movement. But I have to say, even without me paying for the subscription, in any type of camera that I've owned or I've had without paying for the subscription, you still are able to go back. And they mentioned that as well. You are able to go back up to 8 hours on the camera that Nancy had. I don't know what mine was, but yeah, I know you are able to go back, and I think they were able to go back enough to get something, and I know they did. Like I said, that's why I said my feeling tomorrow about us getting something is really good.
Where to brace yourself, and this happens to him at one point, and he lands on the right side of his body with a thud. And like I mentioned, he even looks awkward picking up those shrubs. Now, I get that he has a crotch holster on, okay, when he's picking this up, but that isn't forcing him to do it this way. When you pick something off the floor, okay, especially when you have like a little bite light on, you literally just go completely down and pick it up. If you're mobile, right? If your knees still work. I read many comments that he moved like an old man, but now that we've updated our working theory over here, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're looking at an injured perpetrator. Now, the ladder is just off to the left of this screen here, I'm thinking, right? No time to put it in the ladder because they actually do have a time crunch. And if the door is already open, then he's late. And for that to make sense, you guys actually have to know the entire theory in a way, okay? So we believe that there's another guy called the leader, right? He's breaking into the back, and he is going to come to the front door and open it for the front man right here. So his next job, of course, is to take care of the door cam, which is a little trickier than the other cameras that jut out. You just take it, grab it, break it, right? This one, it seems to be a little bit more attached, right? A little bit more recessed against the wall. He can't get a grip on it, and he tries to get some foliage to cover it. All of this fails. And like we mentioned in our The Muscle video, this is the front man simply waiting for the leader, okay? That's why he doesn't look like he has any place to be. He's in no rush because he's waiting for that door to open. And if it's not open, he has some time, you know, to try to figure this out in our working theory, okay? Just to make the front man look even more like a bumbling idiot, okay? The door will open, and it's the leader, and he sees what the front man is doing, and he's
okay. So let's just say that did happen, and this guy was sitting in front of the door, and he was waiting for the other guy that he supposedly is with to come to the door and open that front door for him. I got a question for y'all. Do you think that Nancy heard them, or do you think she would have heard them? Do you think Nancy heard them at all coming to the door? And if she didn't hear them, what do you think they did to Nancy once they did find Nancy? By the way, the house is big, so if you don't know the house well, you're not going to just be able to find out where Nancy's room is at. Just keep that in mind. They definitely had to go room to room. Otherwise, they got super lucky and they went into the right room first. Maybe they heard a TV on and that just gave them the indication. But yeah, this definitely wasn't a robbery. I agree, and I think Shannon had said that earlier. I don't think it was a robbery, that's for sure.
There's a camera in front of you, and you're just dilly-dallying around, grabbing shrubs. And this is where we think the leader basically just takes out his gun with the butt of it, knocks the camera out, and of course the front man picks it up. There's little bits of glass shard on the floor, because I do believe that's part of evidence. And both gunmen go inside the house. Now, it's this part of the story where they take Nancy, right? That is the mystery of it all. And this part, I always find myself leaning back in my chair when we get to this part, because we all pray that she is alive, right? But it's those damn blood droplets that always sinks in. You know, you sometimes when you do a working theory, you want to make it positive.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think if she heard them, she would have called 911. 100% agree. That's one thing I was talking about with my girlfriend earlier. I felt like if she would have heard any little thing, she would have called the police before engaging any type of way with these guys. I mean, that dude looks scary. If you look at that guy in the mask, I mean, he looks super duper scary. I mean, that would scare me, and I'm a guy. Not that. I mean, there are brave women out there. Don't get it twisted. And I bet Nancy was brave. I bet Nancy would have put up a fight if she didn't. But I agree as well with Repurpose. He says the FBI only released a small part of the video. They have the entire movement with her being moved out the front door. We just don't get to see it. It took them 10 days to release this video. Yeah, I believe they do have more video. I don't know if they have the video of her being carried out the front door, but we do know that Nancy definitely was carried out the front door because of the blood drops. I don't think Nancy's nose started bleeding when she got home that night at about 9:47 or something like that.
Because we all pray that she is alive, right? But it's those damn blood droplets that always sinks in. You know, you sometimes when you do a working theory, you want to make it positive in a way, you know, for the victim. And then I get to the blood droplets, and we just know that she was bleeding. After this, I looked up how long does a sprained hand heal, okay? And grade 1, it would take 1 to 3 weeks, which means that we need to close on him pretty much right now if we're to use any injuries, you know, to our advantage. Now, a grade 2 sprain would take 3 to 8 weeks, which would be great, right? But a grade 3, let's hope his stupid hand is broken, just so that, you know, well, more pain for him, and also that they could arrest him, you know, and have that swollen mitt as a key clue. So if the FBI were to ask me, okay, at this point, I feel strongly that the police and the FBI should be looking for a 5'9" to 5'10" guy with one impaired right hand, which makes me feel even more confident that this is at least a 2-person operation and that this guy is just hired muscle. Because with one hand, this guy is not going to want to drag a 150-pound woman out of her bed, let alone out of the entire house, all by himself. Not to say that he can't, but an injury like that, we can theorize if he were alone, I think he would just pick up his ladder and go home. So this was planned, and there were multiple assailants, okay? Nancy was targeted. I'm sure that's not a question in many people's minds these days. The motive is money, okay? The motive might still be up in the air. It could simply be just hatred of this woman. But as of right now, we're thinking it's money, but not ransom. These are hired goons, hired hitmen, right? Pretty much. I would say.
And I feel like sometimes I feel like they were hired. It almost does seem like these guys were hired to go in and do this. It almost seems like these guys sometimes they don't even know who Nancy is. They're just there to do their job. But I could be wrong. Chicky, I know you had said earlier, you mentioned that they did have jammers to kind of jam up the cameras or something like that. I guess to stop the cameras from maybe recording or just stop them from working, I'm guessing. But it just doesn't sound logical to me that they would use jammers. And I just feel like there's really no way to really know that the jammers are working. And for me, if I'm going into a place, not that these guys were the brightest fish in the world, but if I'm going into a place, I don't think that I'm going to take that risk, because there's a chance that those jammers don't work and then you're screwed. But due to the fact of the guy covering up the camera, it's also questionable. It's questionable to me, going back to what Repurpose said about them having the footage of them bringing Nancy out. Due to him covering up that camera, it looks like when he covered up that camera, they hadn't went in yet, but for all I know, they had already went in, but I'm just going to guess they hadn't gone in yet at that point. And I think with that being said, I don't think that we got to see that part if that camera continued to stay covered up throughout the process of them doing whatever they did when they went into that home.
Follow Nancy Guthrie's money and who stands to gain. Check everyone's finances and see if there's someone with a little money trouble, okay? That would be a reasonable start in unraveling who would want to kidnap an 84-year-old woman. Her value lies with her children, the people that love her. And then you look at the characters that orbit them, the ones that might benefit via them. Anyways, my name is Monks. I appreciate you guys listening to me, and I hope you found it intriguing like I do. Now, go protect the ones that you love, and love the ones that protect you.
Very well said, my friend. Very well said, man. Like I said, I thought Monk had some very interesting things to say. I think a lot of his theories were not so much on point, especially with the ladder incident. I don't think that one was true as far as them using a ladder to dismantle the cameras. I think that wouldn't have even been necessary, but maybe so. And like Chicky was saying, maybe they did use jammers. I mean, considering some of those cameras they didn't dismantle. So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a lot of confusion going on as well, because there was also I also had heard that there were cameras in the home and not outside of the home, but after he pointed that out, I think I'm seeing cameras that, besides the one we saw in the back, I think there was actually a camera or two on that guest home. So, yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of things that are getting us all mixed up, man. It's kind of frustrating, to be honest, but that's the way the media does. That's how they do us. I had another video I wanted to show y'all before I do get off tonight. I'll definitely spend a lot more time on tomorrow. However, I got a late start, man. I had a lot of things I needed to do tonight. This video is pretty short. It's nothing crazy. It's one of the headlines. I think they're called KTLA 5. I thought they had some nice little insights. But let's play this video, and then I think I have one more video, but I don't know if we'll make it that far. But anyway, let's dive in real quick.
We still have hope, and we still believe.
A grief-stricken Savannah Guthrie makes another emotional direct appeal to whoever kidnapped her mother 2 agonizing weeks ago. In a new video posted on Instagram, Guthrie pleaded with her mom's abductor, saying that
Sherry,
it's
I agree,
never
100%.
too late to do the right thing.
The video followed an announcement by the FBI that they may be a step closer to identifying a suspect. Rachel Menitoff joining us live from the News Center with more on today's developments. Rachel?
Rick, Karine, Guthrie's message comes as the FBI seems to be zeroing in on some critical pieces of DNA found both inside and outside of Nancy's home. Experts tell us we're seeing some hopeful signs, but it's no guarantee.
To whoever has her or knows where she is.
A pointed message from a heartbroken daughter to her mother's kidnapper or kidnappers.
You're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing.
Savannah Guthrie's Instagram plea coincides with some promising new developments. A glove found 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's Tucson home appears to match the gloves worn by this masked man, seen on surveillance camera outside Guthrie's front porch. The FBI says preliminary DNA testing indicates the glove belongs to a man. They're now going to run the information through an online database called CODIS, which collects samples from people who have committed certain types of crimes.
Getting that DNA processed quickly, which they will, and they will get that back and then provide a new release. I think we're going to have identities here probably within 24 to 48 hours.
News Nation reports investigators found 16 gloves, but this was the only black glove, a color that law enforcement doesn't wear.
Even though this is a promising development, we honestly don't know.
I don't know what to think about the glove situation because the sheriff, first of all, he lied. First of all, he said he found a glove in the house. Then he turned around and said they didn't find that glove in the house. Now, due to the fact that they found the glove about 2 miles from Nancy's home, they're going to have to still be able to tie this glove to Nancy's home. So I feel like this glove thing could end up being another dead end for us. But at the same time, I feel like that might be a big part of the results that we might get tomorrow if we are going to get results, because I thought we were supposed to hear something last night. And I think last night, that's what a lot of us got excited about, because we were told we were going to hear something back about the DNA that was on the glove. But it seems like they haven't got anything yet, or they're just not ready to share. But that's my feeling. I feel like they're getting ready to deliver something to the world, that they're just kind of gathering everything and then they're going to present it to us. I don't feel like they want to hit us little by little, because they really haven't hit us with anything at all. But I know they got something cooking up that they're about to hit us with, that's for sure.
If this glove is the glove, meaning could another just vile human have tossed that glove to particularly plant it? That is always a possibility.
There was also DNA found inside Guthrie's home, which isn't connected to Nancy or anyone in her inner circle. It belongs to a stranger and possibly her kidnapper. Nancy was last seen on January 31st and was reported missing the next day. Her mysterious disappearance is captivating people worldwide, and her children have been standing by her side.
And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being.
And if there is a CODIS hit on the DNA, we will have information instantly. If there's no match, this means investigators will have to rely on genetic genealogy to try to identify the person. And this can take several days, even up to several weeks. Live in the News Center, I'm Rachel Menitoff.
Chicky, I don't think that they were able to get his, I don't think they were able to get a picture or a good look at his face. I think that was the best part of the video. I think I know exactly what part of the video you're talking about, when they were able to kind of get a good look of his face. And I'll pull that up real quick, because I think I know exactly what you're talking about. But there's a part at one part in the video where you get a good glimpse of his face, and it kind of like flashes in his face, kind of. I know exactly, well, if that's what you're talking about. For me, I know what you're talking about. Because that part just shocked the shit out of me when I saw that part. I'm not gonna lie. Forgive me for the French, but I mean, I was like, you know, it just because you could see, like, there's a good glimpse of his face, even though you really can't see his face at one point in the video. And I think you're talking about this specific part right here. There's a part where it flat, and I don't know if it's in this one, but there's a part like right about there. Let's see if we can find another video. That one wasn't very good. I mean, that's all we got, really. Let me see if I can kind of speed through this and get to that specific part where you kind of see that flash, that moment where it just kind of flashes right in his face. I feel like he thought that bite light was going to blind the camera, you know, from being able to really get a good look at him. But I think it's this very part right here where I was like really shocked to see a really good glimpse of his face. Yeah, I think it would have had to have been that very part. Let me go back a little bit though, because it might have been before that part. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, I think it was that moment. Unless this isn't the entire like surveillance video. But if you look at him in the video, he right there, he like looks down the road once, or kind of looks out real quick. See, he kind of looks there. This guy definitely wasn't worried about nothing. Like, they had it locked down. Right there, he's like looking out real quick. I don't know if he's hearing something at this point, or he just maybe sees a car, or he's just checking a check. He really can't be checking anything because it's dark as hell, so he can't really see anything at all. But there's a moment it like flashes, and I don't want to say this is that moment that just really shocked me. But I feel like this pretty much is their best shot. I don't feel like they really have any other shots. But again, we know that they have a lot of surveillance that they haven't released to the public yet. So at the same time, I don't know, man. He's pretty masked up pretty good. It's really hard to really figure it out. And it's almost impossible if you ask me. And I also think that, well, actually, I saw somebody doing an AI, and the comparison wasn't very great to me. I think somebody did an AI comparison, and it wasn't great. Somebody also did a sketch. And I think this lady does this for a living when they're trying to find criminals. And I thought the sketch was pretty interesting and could have been relatively close. But the only thing that was wrong with it was the guy looked Hispanic. And I don't feel like this guy is Hispanic unless this is the cartel doing this. That's the only thing that would make me feel like this guy is Hispanic. I feel like this is a white guy. Definitely not a black guy, that's for sure. I could play this video 1,000 times, man. I really could. Is that a male or a female? That's a male. That's definitely a male. I don't know why people keep saying this might be a female. I know there's a lot of females out there that are very masculine and they move like a man, but a female could never be a man. Let's just keep it real. But just looking at the hands, I'm a very, very observant guy, by the way. And just looking at the hands, a lot of men, when they're grown, when you grow into being an actual man, you have very, very big hands. Not all men do, but a majority do. You get kind of fat. Your hands get kind of fat and they get kind of thick. Kelly Bird's Life, what up? Welcome to the stream, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat. He said I understood you. That was not French. Well, it's French enough for YouTube, I guess. Shout out to everybody plugging in tonight, by the way. I know it's pretty late for those of y'all on the East Coast. I think you guys are 2 hours ahead, so it'd probably be 6:10 in the morning for you guys. Yeah, for me it's 4 a.m. I gotta work in like 4 hours. It's sad because I'm about to be so tired. But like I said, I go off 3 hours of sleep, but being tired is only temporary, so it's nothing for me. Tiredness comes in spurs, you know, it don't last all day. So that's why I can kind of run off of no sleep, at least for me. Like the stream, guys. Maybe we could get this thing up to 100 likes. So don't forget to give it a thumbs up. You know, it helps the algorithm of the stream as well. Subscribe if you're enjoying it so far. If you're enjoying it tonight, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are just getting back into YouTube. I think I took about 2 years off just to kind of enlighten y'all and give y'all a little background on myself. Took 2 years off about or so. Had some things going on. Needed to take a break from YouTube. Now I'm trying to build my way back into it. And let's hope we get some monetization pretty soon. And, you know, we'll see if we're able to grow. I think I'm confident we'll be able to grow in a better way than we did before. So hopefully we'll get there. Anyways, if anybody has any like exciting videos to show me, or you know they want to put in the chat, feel free to put a link in the chat. I'll be more than glad to watch the video. I had a bunch of interesting videos that I wanted to show y'all tonight. I know Dr. Phil actually had a lot of things to say about this as well. But I think Dr. Phil actually also went to school for crime or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Duty Ron always has some pretty exciting things to say, so I think this is probably my last video tonight. I did want to just kind of recap on certain things that he had to say. These guys are pretty good. He's pretty good. I like him.
About the DNA, let's talk about CODIS, let's talk about these gloves and the developments. I'm getting ready to queue up the next one.
Okay, so again, we have one report. You know, I haven't been able to substantiate it because I'm doing the research. I can't find any other person or news outlet that is reporting this, but somebody is saying that there's a DNA match between
Cherry, thanks a lot. I appreciate that, by the way.
From the side of the road to the
Sheesh, we got a new
DNA
subscriber, Barry, man.
House.
Thanks a lot, man.
Okay.
I appreciate this.
And
this sub.
if that is the case, that is a huge piece of evidence. Okay, but having the sheriff already say,
is it Valky Gaming? Welcome to the stream, by the way. I don't think I've seen you here, man. Big welcomes. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I think he was referring to something about the hips in that video. I'm sorry I missed your chat there. Said females have broader hips for childbirth. Yes, indeed. I agree. And I don't, just the way that person carried themselves, how they were moving. Somebody mentioned him being bow-leg. I think that was repurposed. I don't really see the bow-legged thing, but I also think he changed his walk when he was approaching the camera initially. I think he purposely kind of walked with his head down because he knows what investigators look at when, you know, they're trying to track down a suspect.
that DNA from the house was entered into the CODIS database and they found no match. Well, then why would you submit the DNA from the glove to CODIS, to run in CODIS again, if the previous DNA that matches the glove was run through CODIS and it's not there? So that didn't make any sense to me. You know, I just want to double back to.
All right, I'm gonna cut off Ron real quick because Ron and these guys, you got to really listen to these guys, and they do a whole lot of talking. I kind of had some things I wanted to skip through to go through this video real quick, but I don't think I am. I did have a question for you guys though. What do you guys think they were covering up the night that they caught the guy at the Culvers? I don't know if anybody saw that the other night when we had the 3 suspects detained at that home when SWAT pulled up. But at the Culvers, which was supposed to be related to somebody that they had for the for Nancy Guthrie that was a potential suspect. They removed something from the back of the Range Rover that was pulled over. I think that night we got confused with a white van. I don't think the white van ended up having anything to do with it, by the way. But what do y'all think they covered up when they were taking something? I think it was out of the back of the Range Rover. When I tuned in, I didn't get a chance to see it. I kind of overheard it. So
the yellow,
I really want to know what they were doing.
Curtains in a second. I'm going to let it play.
Sure.
Would an illegal hit on a family DNA search? If that illegal's family uploaded their DNA, like a sister, brother, relative, cousin, right?
Define illegal hit on a family DNA search. I don't understand. What is it you're trying to say?
Yo, Chicky, you are new here. I forgot. You are new. I haven't seen you till tonight, so big welcomes, guys. Look forward tomorrow, man. We'll definitely be. I think tomorrow is going to be good. Tomorrow's going to be good, just because I think we're going to get something tomorrow.
You know, that's the way I read it. I could have read it wrong. Sharon, if you want to correct it, we're not sure exactly what you're asking.
That's what you think was in the back of that Range Rover? Backpack tools for break-ins? You think they had something related? You think they had the same backpack with some tools in there?
But I think I answered it. Mask looks looser on the other person without the backpack. If it is in fact the other person. Thank you for the super chat, Matt 0428. Oh, Leandra. Thank you for the 10. My 85-year-old father, retired lifelong law enforcement officer, has been following and appreciating your coverage. He has dementia, yet he can keep up with your commentary. Thank you for this gift to him. Wow.
God bless him.
That's moving. God bless him. I will continue to say prayers for strength for him. And, if you want me to never return. MD. Hello. Keep hearing B cases.
I'm gonna skip this up because I don't want to hear that.
The dog had passed away in December. It's dog hairs and collector.
In my wife's washers, and we're still finding it. I am
I'm not even gonna skip through this because there was a part that I wanted to show that I thought was super interesting that he had pointed out, but his video is way too long for me to scavenge through it to actually try to find it. So I'm not even going to do that right now, but give me a second. I got to step away for just a quick moment.
Share that for obvious reasons.
But also remember how this was obtained. Okay, so these files were in the deep reaches of Amazon's or Nest drives and clouds, and they had to re-stitch together through technology to find these images.
Yeah, thank you, Marilyn Lynch, for the $2 super chat. Much appreciated. So Kathy says, yeah, my dachshund was named Oscar too. I missed Oscar so much. Dogs are like, they are our family, and that broke my heart. It really did. Ed, let's wheel it back in. I want to go to more questions because we love our audience, the live audience, especially in our replay viewers. Please take a moment to hit the thumbs up while we're here. Let's boost up that thumbs up. If we can get it to over a couple of thousand before we're done with the live stream, it always helps to get out the word. Ed, we're taking a look at what transpired on that very long Friday evening that we stayed up till 2 a.m. You see a lot of flashlights. I counted 4.
My little man, he had
FBI agents behind that
woke up
curtain.
for his bottle right now.
Very, very thin. You could see through it at some points. We have
Candace, welcome. I haven't seen you in here. Big welcomes, man. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Candace says, go to the info underneath the video description. Usually there's an ID, a transcript you can click on, and then on your keyboard hit Control S and type whatever word you're looking for in the video. I've never heard of that before. So he said hit Control plus S and type whatever you're typing in. Control S. I don't think so, unless I save the video maybe. Control S and type whatever you want to type. I don't think that works. Let's put garage. No, because this is files under my folders and whatnot, so that wouldn't
Have
be it.
sheriffs. This is coincidentally. This is what. This is some of the resources that work in conjunction with the feds. When you have big investigations like this, they're not doing any of the forensics. These sheriffs that are in uniform, but they're providing assistance in crowd control and in things like this. So this is how.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that gets me. I can't say your name right. I don't want to say. I'm just gonna. I think is it Valky R Gaming. I'm not too sure, man. Correct me if I'm wrong. But here's the thing for me: if they were taking things in Nancy's home, I'm not sure that you're gonna pull up with a backpack that's full. I would think if you're gonna rob a place, most robbers, when they rob a place, they're gonna pull up with a backpack that is empty. So that is super confusing. I'm not really seeing them really going in there to take stuff. That's why I'm convinced when just thinking about the backpack alone, I'm super convinced that the target is clearly Nancy. I mean, we know somebody who robs a home is coming in with an empty bag, and if they know they're coming in with a whole lot, they're coming for a whole lot. Hell, they're coming with a duffel bag. I mean, come on now. There's no way they pulled up with a full bag to be able to leave with a whole bunch of stuff. Like they said, Nancy had jewelry. So, I mean, if Nancy had a bunch of jewelry, of course, if it's necklaces and whatnot, that's all going to fit into a bag. But I just don't really see her having a whole lot of valuable stuff that you could go in and just take besides jewelry. I can't really think of anything else. People don't steal TVs no more. They don't go in houses to still big entertainment systems. I don't know. It's just not really common now today for people to go in people's homes and steal a bunch of TVs and whatnot. So what else could they possibly have taken? They said when she did arrive, at some point the garage opened and then that closed. I feel like when they took her, if they didn't take her out the front door, I think they could have taken her through the garage. However, because of the blood that's, in the front, not to get off topic, but because of the blood in the front, it tells me that they took her out through the front. It's just so many questionable things, guys. This story is crazy. It's a Netflix story for sure. And we're all confused. We don't know what to think because there's been so many narratives out there. We don't even know what to think, man. It's insane. It's insane. And it almost feels like at some points, I've been everywhere. Like tomorrow, I may feel like this is just going to be a cold case. Or maybe at least an hour throughout the day tomorrow, I'm going to feel like that. And then I'm going to feel like also like, oh no, they got something like this. I have so much trust into the not even just the FBI, the government in itself, that I feel like this is so big, they gotta show what they got. You know what I'm saying? They gotta show they got the juice. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, what are they doing? Why are they even making the effort at this point? But I think they're going to show us something. I mean, we thought they had nothing in the first place, and then they proved us wrong by hitting us with this surveillance video. So they cooking up something, man. It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. I'm just getting overwhelmed knowing that the clock is ticking, and it almost feels like they're taking their sweet time. I feel like they almost feel like, even if they don't know already that Nancy's dead, so they obviously can take their sweet time if she's not alive and they're aware she's not alive. Only simply because the only thing that they really have to do at this point is just find the suspects. Although that doesn't mean that they don't have to find Nancy's body if she's dead. But I mean, if they are aware of her being dead, then I mean, I feel like the clock is ticking as much as it would be as if Nancy were alive. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, guys, I think I got one more video I wanted to look at. I'm not too sure if I want to really watch this video, but it looks pretty interesting, so I wanted to watch this video. I think this is my last one because I do got to get going here. So let's check this video out real quick.
About the abductor to identify him and find Nancy Guthrie. We're going to break down Nancy's chilling doorbell camera footage from the early morning hours of February 1st to find out and develop a psychological criminal profile. So now, let's get started. First, we see the apparent abductor appear, but the big question is, how did he get there and subsequently take Nancy away? He wouldn't get very far carrying a 150-pound person on his back or leading her at gunpoint along the roadside. Did he have an accomplice waiting in the vehicle? And where was that vehicle parked? It appears the abductor is oddly holding a small flashlight in his mouth, clicking it on and then off again with his teeth right here. Did you see that? This indicates he's oddly familiar with holding that small type of flashlight in his mouth, which is more typical of a mechanic or technician of some sort, in order to see in dark places so he can use tools with both hands. This therefore indicates his likely field of work or hobby. It's quite unique. He feels extremely comfortable holding a little flashlight like that in his mouth for what he knew would be an extended period of time. Typically, someone who needs a hands-free flashlight would simply use a head or body-mounted flashlight, not holding a flashlight clenched in their teeth. However, interestingly, the benefit of using a teeth clench flashlight is that they can turn the flashlight on and then off without using their hands. This may be useful in a very covert situation where you can easily turn the flashlight on and then off really quickly without also using your hands, so that you can be less spotted with the light that you're using.
I feel like he had that light not only to see, but to be more hands-free.
You can use minimal light. But can you imagine how annoyingly difficult it would be to swallow saliva with that thing in your mouth? However, for him, it's not annoying at all because he is apparently extremely accustomed to using this tiny type of flashlight gripped with his teeth. Investigators need to contact the company and gain all the records of all the people and businesses who purchase this type of flashlight, because it's not a typical flashlight most people use, even for mechanics. And
I'm not certain that's the right light. I feel like it was what we saw when I looked it up the last time, and I think it was called a Vitalite.
Technicians. It's important to point out that in this video, Nancy's blood is not on her front porch here yet. This indicates that this abductor, or possibly also with his accomplice if there was one, sadly caused physical harm to Nancy soon after this and forcibly removed her from her home. And that blood was not there from a prior incident.
Then these are the broken flowers that we saw on the porch. This was taken by Fox Digital. On day 3 of this, they had access to go all the way up to the front of that house and get the blood trail.
Also, you can see the flowers laying on the ground next to the wall here that he will soon use in a pathetic attempt to cover the doorbell camera lens. Now notice how the abductor walks up to the door, and what do you think that indicates? Yes, he walks with a relaxed disposition and a casual swinging gait while looking down as he was approaching the door. This indicates that he oddly didn't feel very nervous and likely had familiarity with the home before walking up. Also, given that he likely knew that he was going to kidnap Nancy, he's oddly relaxed, indicating he planned this out in his head for possibly weeks, where he may have researched the home extensively driving by it, but likely also virtually through online maps, Street View, and other resources. However, it doesn't appear he ever personally made his way up to the doorstep or closely cased the house beforehand, because he oddly gets surprised when he spots the doorbell camera. Also, doorbell.
This is why I said why I said earlier that this is his first initial appearance at the home. Only simply because what he just said right now, as far as him taking notice to the Ring camera. And I also think at this point, he's just doodling around waiting for his buddy in the back to come and open that front door. Remember, Nancy weighs about 150 pounds. So Like I said, I work in a long-term, short-term health facility. I transfer patients all the time. I do physical therapy, so I have to help them get up to bed, and I also have to help them get out of bed, and I also have to help them get into bed. And with that being said, some people are dead weights, and that's what we call a max. And that dead weight, somebody 150 pounds, especially if they're dead or they really don't have a lot of mobility at all. We know Nancy moved around with a cane. If they don't have a lot of mobility at all, and they can't really bear weight on either leg, those people that weigh 150 pounds feel like they weigh 250 pounds. They feel like they weigh twice their weight. So if you're carrying somebody that's 150 pounds, a lot of times you're not going to be able to carry somebody that size. I mean, he looks like a fairly decent strong man. I think when your adrenaline's going, you are a little bit stronger as well. But I don't think a long distance carrying Nancy would have been logical to the situation. And that's why I put another guy in this particular moment in time that they arrived at Nancy's home. There's no way he did this by himself. No way.
Because he oddly gets surprised when he spots the doorbell camera. Also, doorbell cameras are not hard to miss, especially those Nest doorbell cameras. This indicates that despite what so many TV experts said prior to this footage being released, he's not at all skilled, professional, sophisticated, but is instead very amateur, stupid, and careless. He apparently only got away with this as long as he did because of pure dumb luck, that the cameras were supposedly not saving the footage and no one saw him in the act. Here we see a firearm front-mounted at his crotch, where the grip is pointed.
At what point? Wait, hold on, Chicky. Wait a minute. At what point in time do you see the car in the back, in the driveway? Those. So, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Brian who pointed it out. As far as the lights in the back, those lights that you see in the back, and I'm gonna put my mouse there. Those lights that you see in the back, that's a house. That's not a car. That's a home. But a lot of people keep getting that confused and they keep thinking it's a car. And I think if they approached the house with the vehicle at any point in time, they made sure those cameras were dismantled. Not only that, I think they would have been more likely to park away from the home. And if they parked at the home, that camera would have been in the driveway. I don't know if her guest house with those cameras on it are able to see her driveway when a car is pulling in. But if they were to pull in forward and they never backed in, because you know people a lot of times will back in if they want to get in and get out. I feel like if they did pull in forward at any point in time at that house, there's no way in hell they got a license plate. But another reason why I know they didn't get any footage of a car pulling into the driveway or on the road is due to the fact of them looking for a vehicle, and they don't have any descriptions on any vehicles at all. So the FBI, we know for certain, doesn't have a vehicle. They did not see a vehicle at all whatsoever on camera. Otherwise, we wouldn't be trying to figure out what car these suspects traveled in.
Despite what so many TV experts said prior to this footage being released, he's not at all skilled, professional.
But then again, that could explain why these guys tracked down a Range Rover at Culver's the other day. So maybe, just maybe, they do know what the vehicle is, and maybe they're looking for Range Rovers. But I don't think so.
Experts said prior to this footage being released, he's not at all skilled, professional, sophisticated, but is instead very amateur, stupid, and careless. He apparently only got away with this as long as he did because of pure dumb luck, that the cameras were supposedly not saving the footage and no one.
Also, Chicky said that he's not the driver. He walks from the far left. I feel like he's coming in either from the street, and that's the thing, we don't know that either. But he's either coming in from the street or he's either coming from the backyard.
stupid and careless. He apparently only got away with this as long as he did because of pure dumb luck, that the cameras were supposedly not saving the footage and no one saw him in the act.
But I did want to point out, I zoomed in only simply because
where the grip is pointed.
I thought it would be a little bit more helpful so you could see. But, okay, so where my mouse is at, this is the driveway, all right? And then out the driveway goes right here. This is the road. And I don't know if you can see that right there, but this is the road. And if you go a little further back, those are lights to a home. That's the only home that would have had a chance seeing Nancy. But I don't think those guys from that home have a clear view of that street. And I don't think they can really see Nancy's home from there. Only simply because I don't think the windows are as high as the lights.
Act. Here we see a firearm front mounted at his crotch where the grip is pointing to his right. What do you think that indicates? Yes, first, he's right-hand dominant. Second, possibly extremely insecure about his manhood to have a gun dangling there to overcompensate. Third, he's likely not former military or law enforcement and appears to be a novice to holster it like that.
That's for a big revolver, like a 6-inch, 8-inch barrel. And what's happened here is they've stuck a semi-auto smaller pistol into this thing. The pistol doesn't match the holster. It's like total amateur hour, and you just kind of, well, most of us, we just kind of laugh about it, and then I leave and get away from them because they're dangerous.
Also, people who carry a firearm front and center like that often want it to be highly visible, which can signal a desire to project control and intimidation. Psychologically, that kind of display is sometimes associated with individuals.
Yeah, Chicky, that's what I was talking about. Chicky says, but yes, have you seen the video of Brian? The car is wrecked in the driveway. That video you're talking about is when the two suspects were, the three suspects were detained the other night at that home when SWAT rolled through and we thought we had suspects a couple nights ago. That's not Nancy's home.
Individuals who feel disrespected, overlooked, or powerless in their life, and who use the visible presence of a weapon to command attention and compliance.
Yeah, Rich Buddy, I gotta give it to you on that. I don't understand why they're calling this suspect dumb if he's pretty much at this point, so far, he's gotten away with this. Because as we know, there's nothing as of right now besides the video that we're seeing right now. And for all we know, this guy's broke as hell and he doesn't have any money. So that's why he had to purchase that holster for the job. I'm hoping that they go through states, not just Tucson, Arizona, and track every purchase at each Walmart and pull the video. Obviously, they got to pull the video for every single transaction on that backpack to that gun, since all of these were apparently purchased at Walmart. I hope that they're able to pull up surveillance, and that's going to take a really long time. That's a lot of surveillance to cover on every single purchase as far as that backpack goes. I don't know how many people or how long, or I don't know if people are buying that backpack all the time. It's a fairly cheap backpack, so I'm assuming that it's bought frequently. So that's going to make it tougher for investigators to track that person down. I think they're also hoping that these guys, I think they're also hoping that they catch all these guys, if it's more than one guy, making that purchase. But even if it's one guy, it's good.
He's wearing a ski mask that's fully covering his face, with oddly only 3 holes for his 2 eyes and mouth, in order to cover as much of his face as possible. Quite odd to see a ski mask like that, even in general, and especially in southern Arizona, where the temperature that day and at that time was 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Therefore, he likely purchased this 3-hole ski mask to specifically carry out this crime. He oddly doesn't notice the doorbell camera until he was just about to knock on Nancy's door, when he brings up his right fist here to apparently knock on the door. The fact that he was about to kidnap someone from their home and was not on the lookout for the most basic security surveillance, such as a doorbell camera, speaks just to how careless, disorganized, and reckless this guy truly is. This also seems to indicate that his initial intention may have been to knock on the front door, possibly ideally waking up Nancy to open the front door without looking out to see who's at the door, so he can quickly, easily storm in and sadly extract her from her home. Not a very sophisticated plan, don't you think? All this indicates is that there was virtually no plan at all here. In any normal circumstance, this bozo would have been arrested within an hour. It's wild how brazen and stupid he is because he knows he's being video recorded right now and that police are going to be watching this footage, but that doesn't deter him at all and still...
Guys, I wanted to show you guys something real quick, and I wanted to ask you guys what you guys think about this. JLR, and I want to show that video too because Chicky brought it up as far as that abandoned car that she was talking about just now, just to kind of clear the air a little bit. But JLR investigates. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's been covering a lot of this thing. He's probably had the most views out of everybody, as far as anyone, even newscasters. But he showed a couple pictures of the suspects that I think might have been detained that same night. I think these are the suspects that were detained that night. I wanted to show that real quick because I thought it was super interesting, and I want to see what you guys think, whether or not these guys, are the actual suspects or not, or if you guys think that it actually looks like the guy that we see masked up. Let me see if I could go back a little bit because I think he shows two of the suspects. Because remember, it was a mom that was detained and two guys that were detained that night when SWAT rolled through and had those guys detained at that Airbnb. I think even the fact that it's an Airbnb is questionable. I don't even think that place, considering how is it an Airbnb if there's a car abandoned in front of the home? We'll get there.
They just think he looks like the guy. Luke Daly.
All right, so hold on. Let's go back a little bit.
U-N.
So this is the first guy.
Z-A-I-D-O-U-N, Zach Jaghoub. J-A-G-H-O-U-B. So, I don't know.
Hold on.
So good morning, everyone. So we got the camera planted. They're tucked in there on the left. Manhunt continues. I went over this apartment complex, didn't see him there, but also couldn't get in because it's gated. So I went on the outside. I scanned all the vehicles there, every single vehicle I could see in the parking lot.
This buddy says the eyebrows don't line up. Oh, don't line up? Yeah.
Might be at another address.
Let me see if I can pull it up here. See if we can get to that part.
Somewhere else.
Shows, both
or
of
it could be like the other people at the other place.
Possible suspects here. I think I skipped too far.
The other guy.
So this is one of the guys
goes by
showed.
Zach. Drives the Range Rover.
So this is the guy that got pulled over at the Culvers the other night, and he goes by the name of Zach, as you heard JLR just say there. I don't know. The eyes, I could say yes, but the mask, if you look at the mask in that picture, it almost feels like it kind of could be, it almost looks like it may be covering some of his eyebrows, which is why some of us don't want to still not believe that it was Tommaso, just because of us not knowing, well, not even knowing, us not being able to get that clear picture of the eyebrows to confirm whether or not they were fully exposed or they were, slightly covered. So I think everybody still thinks either it's Tommaso or he has something to do with it. But there's one of the guys, that's the guy that was pulled over at the Culvers, and I think the next two guys that he does show are the guys that were detained at that Airbnb the same time this guy was detained at Culvers.
Now, what I find interesting about this guy right here is he lives down on Campbell. Campbell's the road, going out of here. Campbell's the road where the glove was found on the side of the road. Campbell is where we went down to Campbell and River Road, and we did a live stream there. Well, he lives in an apartment complex on Campbell, a little bit away from where we went to the park down there at that bridge, the Bat Bridge. the back. It does kind of look like the guy. It does. I mean, it just, he does. But he got let go. So I don't know what's going to come out of this, but I'm just showing you that this was the guy.
Yo,
that
Freak
was
Jen,
detained.
welcome to the stream, by the way.
And it's coming out. Fox News is reporting now, and it came out after we finished the live yesterday, that they had him as a person of interest. And I'll read the article to show you case in point.
If he was a person of interest, from what I heard, he might have been held up to 24 hours, but I think he got let go, as well as the 2 guys at that home that they detained the guys at, which was an Airbnb. If those are the guys, and apparently they confirmed that they're not the guys, right? But if those just so happen to be the guys, that is going to be so bad. That's going to look so bad. It's going to be crazy because we're not even going to know whether or not these guys are just going to simply surrender and just turn themselves in. It might even become a whole manhunt where we got to hunt this guy back down all over again. Who knows? But the fact that they let them go, and he just said that he was definitely one of the possible guys for whatever occurred at Nancy's house, is kind of crazy to me, man. But it also seems like the sheriff just don't even know what they're doing at this point. They're just kind of just digging into whatever they're digging into, and then they're just going out and detaining people. And I thought that's what this was going to turn into every single day, but it seems like maybe they're just kind of just trying to figure everything out before they start doing that again. Maybe they're not going to do that anymore. I don't know what the sheriff are doing, but all I know is today was a dry day, and we got nothing. We got nowhere. We're still at square one. Hell, we never left square one. We've been on square one.
Does, but he got let go. So I don't know what's going to come out of this, but I'm just showing you that this was the guy that was detained. And it's coming out. Fox News.
Pull the image of his face and look at the eyebrow and how high they are and how close they go toward the man.
And I'll read the article to show you
for
case in point.
what image?
But he lives.
You're talking about the image of the actual surveillance in front of Nancy's home. I think that's what you're talking about. We could do a comparison. Yeah, let's do that. Let's pull up every image. Let's pull up that image, if that's what you're referring to. Let's pull up the image, and when he shows the next person, we'll compare that person as well. Let me see if I gotta find the images. By the way, I think I have them in here, so I don't have to kind of go looking for them. I have one here. We'll use this one because I don't want to go scavenging through. I don't want to waste too much time and make anybody wait. I think I got one right here. I gotta minimize it real quick though, and then I gotta cut off Nancy in this image as well as the other image next to it. Actually, I don't. I'll just cut off Nancy's part of it so we don't get distracted here. Let's see, 550. 1 second, guys. All right, you know what? I'll cut off both sides. Nah, we'll leave it up. We'll leave it there, actually. All right. So there's the comparison of the guy at the Ring camera the night they took Nancy, and then there's the guy right there. And that was the guy, again, if you're just tuning in and you don't know what's going on, this is the guy that was pulled over at Culver's the other night that could have been a potential suspect to the whole Nancy investigation. And that looks, it's kind of close. I'm not going to lie. The goatee kind of aligns a little bit. We can't see the goatee in that picture, but the goatee definitely aligns, that's for sure. I think let's pull up the other picture too. We're going to pull up that other picture too, because that might just make it a little bit more interesting as well. So we'll pull them both up. How about that? and then we'll compare. Just want to make it big enough for everybody to see it. But it almost seems like, to me, the hair, it almost seems like the hair of that goatee area is almost like a straight, flat line across, more so. That one's more like an upside down triangle on the guy we're looking at that was pulled over at the Culvers. If we're not looking at the same guy, for all we know. All right, let's let it play through so we can see the other suspect.
Campbell, an apartment complex right by the Bat Bridge, where we went down to a little bit. He lives into Tucson. I'm not going to share the actual address, but what I'll share is I went down there this morning. He lives in like a gated apartment complex. I was looking for the Range Rover for his address. I didn't see the Range Rover there, so I don't know where the Range Rover is, unless he doesn't live at that apartment complex anymore, but he has a lot of things registered to that apartment complex. Maybe they gave him this Range Rover back. Maybe they didn't. We don't know. Probably took his DNA, probably have to analyze, you know, if the DNA matches the unknown DNA that has been found in this house behind me right there, Nancy's home. Because as we heard from the Pima County Sheriff's Office, they shared that DNA was found inside Nancy's home, not Nancy's DNA. Someone else's DNA. Don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna skip it up a little bit because I want to go. I want to get to the other part where he
people.
shows the other
They'll have to
suspects
go through
here.
each one and say who had access in the house, who didn't.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't recall seeing this one.
Again, I don't know for a fact, but is Chris Roach investigates right here, saying this is Luke Daly. This is Luke Daly. Again, I don't know for a fact, but this photo is circulating all over. So this is the house. This is the house. Luke Daly. So a guy that has a long, extensive record. Why they bring authorities to him? I mean, he kind of has that same kind of facial features as the Zach guy with the.
I don't think Luke is gonna be our suspect at all. I'm gonna be honest here. I don't think Luke is the guy we're looking for. So I'm gonna go ahead and push through this one and get to the next suspect, because I really don't think the potential suspect. These guys are not the guys, by the way, guys. They were confirmed not the guys. So I'm not 100% sure if these are the suspects, but when that, because obviously they sent the Range Rover off, and they didn't actually, that home, I don't even think they searched that home. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't even think they searched that, for all I know. I don't know. They were there for all but 45 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe a little over an hour. They weren't even there long. Let's just say the FBI drove through, and about 30, 40 minutes later, they were leaving. That's how I already knew it wasn't them, or they didn't have what they were looking for.
The goatee and mustache there. So, what do you think? What do you think? And again, no one arrested with this. No one arrested with this.
Shows the other
there
guy.
You go.
I don't think he shows anybody else, actually.
It's like lookalikes. It's like the lookalikes. That's what it seems like it kind of is. It's like all the lookalikes in this situation.
Yeah, I agree.
I send you a Dutch cup of coffee, Jalen says, 2100. I don't know. Maybe
this is the other guy. That guy looks kind of close to this guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Department of Corrections from the Arizona, according to. But people are also posting this from a mugshot from the Arizona Department of Corrections from the Luke Daly guy, the guy's house. So, how they think this guy's involved, I don't know. Maybe he lives nearby.
And that's another questionable thing that the sheriffs, they were supposed to, first of all, hold the press that night that they went and got these guys, and they didn't. And then they later said that they would give us a statement on paper. So they were going to give us a written statement, and then they decided not to do that. 2 days later, we're here today. We still have nothing. We have no press conference, no nothing, no word from sheriffs, nothing at all. This guy, he looks fairly close, although he looks way too small. He's definitely not as wide shoulders as the guy we see, in the surveillance at Nancy's door. So definitely not the guy. But you never know. He could be one of the guys.
Luke Daly. Luke Daly. Luke Daly. It says inmate number 333901, Luke A. Daly, 5'8", 160 pounds, brown. His ethnic origin is
you
Mexican.
see what I'm saying? This guy, like they were saying, I think is around 200 pounds, if not a little more than 200 pounds.
American, brown, eye color. When he was in the Arizona Department of Corrections, medium lowest. That was a 2020 photo, Pima County. How many times someone, the employees use, I'm sure that leaves some sort of scan or paper trail, and then they can cross-reference that with the surveillance and find, possibly.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it. Those are all of the suspects that he was able to show us that I've seen. I haven't seen anybody else
tomatoes
that they detained that night. Chicky had brought up something about an abandoned car. That was when he had pulled up at that home the very next morning after they had raided that home. And I'll show that too.
They're out there going door to door, asking the neighbors. They spoke to a neighbor that came around, stopped right here, pointed, talked about the whole situation. You can check out the drone footage. It was this house. This is, and it's wrong. And no one's here. There's no crime scene tape. There's nothing in this neighborhood. There's no roadblock. There's nothing. Unbelievable. Now, I'm not going to do this on my YouTube live, but I went and knocked on the door asking them for a comment. They got all kinds of cameras and everything like that. It's crazy. Let me show you that video. Hold on. I went and knocked on the door, asked him for a comment. No one's there. It's crazy. There's a couple other journalists that went and knocked on their door.
By the way, I think if you had an Airbnb and you got raided or SWAT pulled up while you were in your Airbnb, if this is an Airbnb, because they keep saying this is an Airbnb, which makes me think it's not, is the fact that there's an abandoned car in the front of the house. But perhaps this is an Airbnb and SWAT pulls up. I think that you would probably be kicked out, if not the same night, by tomorrow morning, because I think when SWAT does show up to a home and you're living in a home and you're not the owner, I think my guess is they would get in touch with the owner of that home. But I don't know. But I know for certain they definitely would figure that out and know who the owner of that home is. Maybe not, because a lot of cops do like to just ask instead of kind of doing their research and figuring that out before, obviously going through a home like that. But it's a $1.2 million Airbnb. These guys were staying at this Airbnb. I also had overheard that Annie and Tommaso were staying out in an Airbnb. But then I've also heard that Tommaso's out in Italy and he's not here. But the fact that the sheriff did come on Nanos and said that Tommaso, he didn't even mention Tommaso. He just said that it was sad that everybody's kind of throwing them under the bus. But no one as a suspect is rules out. But I feel like Tommaso has something to do with it, even if it's not Tommaso. I just don't know why. But I don't know why Tommaso wouldn't be here if he's not here. But the sheriff did mention that everyone in the family was cooperative. And that doesn't necessarily mean that someone in the family isn't trying to hide something.
No one answered the door, seeking comment on what's going on.
Yeah, Chicky, I agree. And the fact that there is so many people watching when JLR is doing things like this, he almost had 100,000 people watching. So I think with the substantial amount of people that he had on his live stream, that would have only made it easier for these guys to be aware that, you know, they were being watched and SWAT was on the way. I mean, there also is a chance that they didn't know who they were specifically going to, you know, whose home they were specifically going to. So it's just a lot of questionable things. But if I'm a suspect, I'm definitely going to be watching a bunch of live streams. But at the same time, there's something, a part of me that says the suspect might just be right here talking with us, talking about all of this stuff, acting like, you know, just playing the part, you know. I don't know. It could be anything right now because we don't know much.
Wouldn't you want to ask these people why were you detained if they're even out yet? This is crazy.
Those are the Deli brothers. I think they were the last name was Green or something like that. Zach isn't one of them. Yeah. So there's that abandoned car that you were talking about, though, Chicky. This is the house that they raided that night when SWAT came through. If I were investigating this, to be honest with you, I would definitely, that car would be something that's definitely suspicious to me. Any little thing and every little thing, guys. But that car for sure, I would have definitely just to check to make sure that when they did all of this, that no one, you know, that, who knows, they could have crashed. They could have crashed, right? So, I mean, if they would have crashed, that definitely would have, you know, shown with that vehicle in the front, if that were the case. But I'm just saying, being that we have nothing, and these guys are potential suspects, and for whatever, however they did, they confirmed that they weren't the suspects somehow, some way, we don't know. But I feel like also that car should have been checked, and it doesn't look like that car. I mean, I can't even say it doesn't look like that car was checked. I know they didn't check that car. They were there too fast. They left too fast. They were there for a very short period of time. And obviously, if they were able to confirm that those weren't the suspects so quickly, tells me that they just might have pictures of the suspects.
This is the house last night that they went to. Authorities and detained multiple people. I'm hearing 2 people, 1 person at another location.
Look at it closely. Doesn't look like a crash. It does, because if you look at the indent right there on that blue thing covering the front hood, you could also see in the back of where the blue thing is kind of falling off the top near the window, that hood is not aligned. It's a crashed car for certain. And I'm very good with cars. I remember cars like people. That car is also a Dodge Charger, and that is, I want to say, a 2011 or 2010, maybe a 2009. I used to have that Charger until I got hit by a college student here in town just recently in August. Or was it August? No, it wasn't in August. I think it was around September or something like that. I can't remember the exact date, but it wasn't too long ago. That's the exact same car that I had.
They have not been arrested.
Interesting, Paradise. Interesting. Paradise says the Rover was purchased a week ago by the mom for the son, probably after he wrecked the Charger. Well, it all aligns, if you ask me. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since Nancy's gone missing, so. But if the Rover was purchased a week ago, that would mean they had that Charger a week before that, around the time that Nancy went missing. Yeah, you never know. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. I think it was just a rumor going around that it was an Airbnb paradise. I really think that's a own home and not a Airbnb. There was a kid who walked up to JLR investigate while they were waiting because no one was allowed in at the time. And like I said, JLR has been everywhere. He's been keeping us in tune. He's been the one out there chasing all of these police calls, chasing. He's just been everywhere. He's the media, so he has to be. But my God, I lost my thought. There was a kid that spoke to JLR during the time when they were sitting outside of the actual scene, and he was saying that first of all, his dad was calling him because he was worried about him. He was saying they would not let him in because of SWAT raiding a home at the time. But what he said was, that particular home is very, very suspicious, and it's really creepy. Because he always knows that there's someone there. He doesn't see too many people leave or come home. He mentioned that the lights were always off, so that's the only house in the neighborhood that the lights are normally off, and it's always dark in their house. He hardly ever sees a light on in the house, and I thought that was super suspicious.
Hello, I am a journalist. Any comment on what happened last night?
There's a video with Brian, who also made an appearance at this home, and he said that he saw a lady peek through the window, but I'm not certain.
I knocked on the door asking them for comment. Hello, good morning. Any comment? All right, thank you. And then I left. This is the house. Ain't nobody here. Why did they do this again to the second person? They just go there and scoop somebody up, block the roads up. JLR, you need to clean your lens. Will. First look, neighborhood. It's not a crime scene.
Everything so far.
Back to square one, folks. So we're gonna go over to Nancy Guthrie's home here and stage. That's it.
So I thought that was super interesting when he went to that home the very next day. There were a couple interesting things that happened due to the fact that they didn't even answer the door. There was a bandit car. And no one was home. No one was home. It just seemed like no one was home. But Brian had a different story. He said he saw somebody home.
This is the house here.
Put the face back up of the perp. Put the face of the first back up and look in the corner of the left eyes. There's 2 moles. Okay, I'll do that right now, Patriot. I gotta get them.
If anybody's answering, I think other reporters have already been here. I'm not sure if anyone's home, although there is a car. Oh, hi, we'll be right there, it said. I don't think anyone's coming. I did. I saw someone in the window. Hello? Hello? There was a woman that just opened the blind just for a second. But yeah, I don't think they're coming out. Like I said, I think some other reporters.
I almost feel like Brian just heard something or he thought he saw something. Like, I don't really feel like there was anyone home. I don't know. Who do you believe more at this point, Brian or JLR? JLR says no one was home. And then Brian says there was somebody home. I don't know.
Oh, hi, we'll be right there, it said. I'm not sure if anyone's home, although there is a car. Oh, hi, we'll be right there, it said.
I think the mom was there.
I don't think anyone's coming. I did. I saw someone in the window. Hello? Hello? There was a woman that just opened the blind just for a second. But yeah, I don't think they're coming out. Like I said, I think some other reporters have been here, and it looked like a kind of an older woman that opened the curtain just for a second. There's this car that was in an accident in the driveway.
Chicky says, can you look for the video suspect where you can see suspect's face? He is bent over looking back at the camera. Huh. What? I don't know what video that would be, because I think the video that I had was pretty much all of the video of the surveillance that they had. If you can find the link of the video, feel free to post it in the chat. I'll be glad to show it for sure. Someone wanted me to put the video of the perp and the picture of the perp, the video of the possible suspect, and the actual video of the surveillance in front of Nancy's home. I don't know which particular person you're talking about, but you could kind of tell me when to stop when I find that. Let's see, I'll type it up here real quick. That's JLR. Let's see, Guthrie. Surveillance, there it is. So we'll go back to that surveillance, and then we'll put the photo back up. No, I'm sorry, not the surveillance. We were talking about the photos that JLR had showed of one of the perps that we were looking at. Is that one of the photos there? I don't know if that's the one you wanted to compare it to. It's either this one or the other guy that we're looking at. And I feel like this is the guy you're probably talking about, though. I'm going to just guess that's the guy you're talking about. Southern Blessings, big welcome to the stream. Guys, if you haven't liked the stream, like it up. Like I said earlier, it helps the algorithm, as well as subscribing to the channel if you're enjoying the stream, man. Much love, guys. I know it's pretty early in the morning, but thanks for tuning in this morning. That is the picture right there, though. Earlier, we were trying to just kind of give a comparison of those possible suspects that were recently detained. That one, I think, is the closest one out of all of them. Although I don't think that's him, but it possibly could be, guys. Look at the build. The build looks almost the same as the guy. I mean, his upper body looks like it could possibly be the same as that other guy. The nose looks very similar. The gold tee also looks very similar as well. Even the eyes kind of comes close too. I don't know what video she was or what she was talking about when he turned around. He does look like he has a double chin. I got to admit, he does look like he has a double chin. Somebody was saying he had two masks on. But yeah, this guy definitely looks like he has a double chin, just like the guy in the mask. That's for sure. It's fairly close, guys. The eyebrows are close. Very, very close. although his eyebrows kind of have like missing like bald spots in it, and I don't see very many bald spots. It's a little light on that right eyebrow. Well, it would be my right facing the guy in the surveillance video, but his left eye, that eyebrow doesn't look like it's got bald spots except for where it starts and at the end. And this guy is kind of just at the end, just before the end. The eyebrows just look a little bit different, so it's kind of hard. And then if you look at the eyebrow all the way until the mask starts, it seems like it could possibly even be a unibrow, because we can't see where his eyebrow stops. And you can see, as you can see, like with my eyebrow, you can clearly see where it stops. So if you look at the guy in the surveillance, you can't really see where it stops. So we're not even certain that it could, be a unibrow. Anyone else think this is Annie? Eyes are of a woman. What? Kathy, you kidding me right now? You think that's Annie? The person in the surveillance video? No way. Absolutely no way. I don't know, oval eyes versus squinty eyes. Yeah. But at the same time, he's on a mission at this time. That picture, it's it's just different, but definitely not Annie, that's for sure. As far as the other guy doesn't really look like he's a suspect at all. That guy looks way too skinny to match that guy. And then they showed this guy as well. That guy right there doesn't seem like he's close at all whatsoever. I mean, the eyebrows might be even more closer than the other guy, but that guy definitely doesn't even have a unibrow at all, so, or nothing close to a unibrow. I feel like if the description's gonna match, he's gotta almost have a unibrow. So the first guy we were looking at, he definitely is a completely different guy just by looking at the eyebrows, but that's just me though. I don't think none of these guys are the suspect, I'm gonna be honest. I think they're two different guys. I was trying to get back to the first guy we were looking at. JLR's had a bunch of interesting pictures that he's shown. The first guy looks like the best match. Yeah, I think that guy that we're looking at right now is definitely our best match. I'm gonna be honest about that.
And
I don't think he showed anyone else that could be a potential suspect though. We'll see tomorrow, guys. That's going to be interesting. I think tomorrow might bring something that we've been waiting for. I really do. I'm really feeling really good about tomorrow. I got my hopes high. I don't know if it's going to be with Nancy coming home, but I feel like we're going to get maybe another video, or we might even just get that DNA result back that we're waiting for. I thought we got the DNA result, but I guess not. I'm not too sure. Anyways, guys, it is 5:19 in the morning. I appreciate all of y'all stopping by and plugging in tonight. It was an awesome stream. I didn't expect it to get this many people tonight, considering we didn't have a whole lot of exciting things or exciting news to talk about. Tomorrow, I will probably put the time I'm gonna go live, so everyone knows when I'm gonna go live tomorrow. Make sure y'all stop by and plug in with your boy. I truly appreciate y'all stopping by and chatting with me tonight. Tune in with me tomorrow. Your boy got to get going. I got to get to sleep, man. It's 5:20 in the morning for me. I work in about 3 hours. My girl's probably going to be mad because I was supposed to only be on stream for like 30 minutes, but it's all good. It was worth it. It was worth it, man. Don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tune in with me tomorrow. Thanks so much for plugging in tonight. I appreciate y'all. That is it for me, man. I love y'all. Much love, man. It's your boy YouTube Juice, man. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll catch y'all tomorrow night.